BBC Radio Stoke it is. What's a year between friends? I'm Lee, morning to you, or good afternoon now. I'm all over the shop. I've lost it, haven't I? I've lost it. Luckily, we'll be rescued now in the form of Rich Tyndale from Stafford, who this time last week was at the Spa Grand Prix in Belgium. Now, he arrived after a gruelling 400-mile bike ride from Silverstone to the track in Spa, all in the name of charity. Rich organised a ride called Ride2spa. Good morning, or good afternoon.
Hi, how are you doing?
We'll get there eventually.
We will, yeah.
Now, first of all, there's so many twists and turns here. Just first off, why cycle 400 miles? Surely it would have been easier just to go in the car.
It would have been. There's a whole host of reasons. We were talking about a charity event. I myself was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in 2007.
Yeah.
And following on from that, I don't know if it's a shock tactic or I'm not sure, I enrolled myself upon a London to Paris bike ride to raise money for the MS Trust. My best friend Si joined me with that. And it turned out to be such an immense experience that I thought, well, let's get something else sorted. Then I kind of had 2-3 years of no kind of relapses or anything. My MS was kept in control with some weekly medication. And then last March, I started to lose my vision.
Yeah.
And from that, because we talked about it beforehand, and basically when I was losing my vision, I couldn't ride my bike, I couldn't do lots of things, and I said that if I get better, then that's the time to get it sorted. I did get better, so it was time to get the ball rolling and start sorting it out. In that time, my best friend Simon, who did the London-Paris bike ride with me, his son Jasper was diagnosed with leukemia at 4 months of age.
Right.
So he was in Birmingham Kids Hospital. They stayed at Ronald McDonald House. So the idea was, originally it was going to be for the MS Trust. I found that on the Virgin Money Giving website you could choose multiple charities. So we decided to open it up. We decided to add Birmingham Children's Hospital, Ronald McDonald House, cancer research, which means so much to so many people, and Mind as well. So we added the 5 charities and we got the ball rolling, convinced 22 of our mates to come along with us. And it was an absolutely epic adventure.
22 of you?
Well, yes, 22 of us all together. We had a couple of drivers as well as a support vehicle, which was invaluable. They did a cracking job. And so far we have raised over £18,000 for the 5 charities.
That's amazing. By the time you got there, were you completely and utterly exhausted? Could you appreciate the Grand Prix?
We were. The route we picked, the final climb from the town of Spa to the town of Francorchamps, which is just at the north end of the circuit, was about a 5-mile climb, and it was unbelievable. It was a crescendo end to a very epic 400 miles. But yeah, I think we were all buzzing that much that we'd done it. That we were actually all right over the weekend. A few people limping and whatnot, but we just had a fantastic weekend when we got there anyway. So,
Rich, for you, is it all about just seizing the moment? Because you almost casually mentioned that you started to lose your sight.
I did. My MS originally kicked off, I say, over 5 years ago. I started getting numb legs.
Yeah.
I went to Stafford Hospital, had an MRI scan where they picked up lesions in the brain and the spine. Then it was just, I was having tests and stuff for 3-4 months and they didn't really know what it was. And then I went for an appointment where I saw a specialist and he gave me the diagnosis. From that, I think the shock of being told, I actually started to lose all ability to do anything with my left arm, which again was horrific. It was not the nicest, but I got better. Mm-hmm. And then I qualified for the medication. Because I'd had 2 relapses in such a short space of time. But saying then I was okay for about 3 years. You have little niggles and stuff, and it's hard not to blame anything which happens to you on multiple sclerosis. But I just kind of got on with it, and then when I started losing my vision, it was, I say, last March, and then I was up at the the North Staff's Royal Infirmary for 3 days as an outpatient and going in there receiving steroid treatment. It was by the fantastic MS nurses. They were absolutely wonderful up there.
Were you panicking at that point, Rich?
I was, because I thought I probably lost about 50-60% of my vision on just to the very right of my direct line of vision, and I was panicking because it was a case of I hope it doesn't get worse and I go completely blind. But I think that the steroid treatment, the intravenous steroids, kind of dealt with it, stopped it getting any worse, and then I got better from it. It has left a scar. I still have a patch in my eye, which is what multiple sclerosis does. It's multiple scarring. There's still a little patch there, but I can see, I can ride my bike, I can keep my driver's license and whatnot. So it's just a case of getting on with it. You don't know what the next thing's going to be. Hopefully it won't be for a very long time. But yeah, I wanted to give something back really to the nurses up at the hospital. I know some of the Multiple Sclerosis Trust donations goes to providing booklets and information for those newly diagnosed. And when you are newly diagnosed, it's such an awful time with, I mean, I resisted going onto Google and actually reading about multiple sclerosis for a while, for a few weeks, and then I just bit the bullet and thought, right, I need to know about this condition because I've got it, it's not going to go. And then, yeah, so, but I'm actually doing all right at the moment, and...
You're just one of those really, just to talk to you, one of those real life-affirming people. You just sound so upbeat. It's fantastic. And tell us about the romantic moment at the Grand Prix.
The proposal.
Well, yes.
Right. Well,
could it be more romantic?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the week had been that amazing. We had one of the riders who came along with us was Adam Mills from Badger GP, who is a Formula One blogger. He tweets and writes articles about Formula One. We invited him along with us. He has contacts with Formula One, so Marussia F1 team on the Friday during the first practice session invited myself and Simon into the garage and into the paddock, and we spent the first practice session at the back of the garage watching the cars go out, and it was just surreal having watched Formula One for so many years and actually being there and being part of it. It was unreal. Then the weather during Saturday and Sunday was absolutely immense. The sun was out, I think, for the first time in 13 years where they've had a dry Saturday and Sunday at Spa. And then I'd been carrying a ring around with me for the whole time. If there was an appropriate moment, then I was going to propose to my girlfriend. She's put up with me talking and living and breathing Ride2spa for the past 10 months. That I thought I'd propose to her. So we managed to get onto the track. They opened the tracks up after the race, so managed to get race round to the start finish line. And yeah, did it there. There was lots of people about, but we were getting ushered off the track, so it was either now or never. So got down on one knee and proposed.
And what was the answer?
The original answer was, "Can you get up? You're embarrassing me." And then when I said, "Come on, what's the answer?" and she said yes. So.
Oh, fantastic! It
was amazing.
Lovely to speak to you. Fantastic story. Thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Rich Tyndale from Stafford, who organised Ride2spa. So this time last week, he was at the Spa Grand Prix in Belgium. 400-mile bike ride. 22 of them part of it, and as you heard, have raised thousands.
Paula White on BBC Radio Stoke.